back, most schools in KwaZulu-Natal, we're told, are now receiving meals under the National School Nutrition Programme. According to the Department of Basic Education, multiple service providers were used to supply and deliver food to schools. The Provincial Education Department has come under fire for the mishandling of the feeding scheme contract, which saw thousands of children going hungry at the start of the second school term. So to give us an update on the story, we're joined this morning by the spokesperson in the KZN Education Department, Muzi Mahlambi, joins us via our video link this morning. Muzi, good morning. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming on. When we say most schools in the province are now receiving meals under the school nutrition program, how many are still outstanding?
Good morning and morning to your viewers. We want to start this interview by first apologizing to the community of KwaZulu-Natal, our schools, more especially our main beneficiaries, which are our learners, for the glitches that we have experienced in the last 3 weeks. But the situation has now changed with the intervention of the minister, sending her team to the province, with the Premier establishing a task team. But it's important to indicate that these interventions found us in motion as the Department of Education in KwaZulu-Natal in trying to turn around the situation, which culminated in us issuing a circular on the 26th of April to say we are reverting back to the old system of providing our children with nutrition. Coming to your question as to the magnitude of or quantifying how many schools are feeding, we can say generally all schools are feeding. The situation that we are in now is do a mock-up program where in some instances there is not enough food for the entire month, but food has been provided for this week, and service providers are making means to have food provided for every day. So we are busy with that monitoring, which was kickstarted by the ministerial task team, composed of all the MECs going to all districts in the province on Tuesday when we reopened from the long weekend. The situation is improving every day. Yesterday was better than Tuesday, and we're very much hopeful that by end of the week we shall have totally eradicated all the problems that we were experiencing.
Yeah, we certainly do hope so. Take us back, Muzi. Why the decision to change the model of how the school nutrition program was being rolled out in the province?
The minister has pronounced on this position to say, in actual fact, this is a desired trajectory for all provinces to do so in terms of central procurement. She will go on to cite an example of what we did when we're experiencing the problem or crisis of the stationery and textbook, to say we went for central procurement, which gives us the advantage of the economics of scales, and we are able to negotiate prices. And she even cited an example of a book that will cost 400 rand, but we are able to buy it for 50 rands, which then we will be able to stretch our coverage in terms of providing all learners with the textbook. So with the school nutrition, it's one thing of the process having gone smooth in terms of identifying the main supplier. It's another, the failure on the side of the main supplier, which has plunged us into the crisis that we are trying to get out of it as we speak.
The money that was spent on that new model, Muzi, can you give us an update, and for the sake of our viewers as well who are watching, on how that will work after changing back to the original model? Is there money that would have been spent in advance for this contract that will now be recovered?
These are the contractual issues that our legal department, together with the legal department of the contractor, are dealing with. which we will want to give those teams space to deal with this matter and come up with the report that they will table before the HOD, and then we will be able to pronounce on the technical issues or contractual issues, as it were.
It's no overstating just how important this National School Nutrition Program, isn't it, Muzi? In fact, the South African Human Rights Commission spoke to us here on the AM report this morning, and they say it actually amounts, what happened at the start of the second term, amounts to a breach in the basic right to access to education, because these two are so intricately linked, right? So many of the children who didn't receive food at the start of the second school term, in many cases had to be sent home because the children were just so hungry they couldn't focus on learning in class.
We have a very clear understanding of why we needed to provide nutrition to our children. That is why we started this interview by first apologizing, because we are acknowledging or admitting that we did not do very well when it comes to that provision of that kind of program to our learners.
Muzi Mahlambi, let me thank you for your time this morning, talking to us there as the spokesperson of the KZN Department of Education.